I love this program to help you love it back. We are not going to waste time on ivory tower theories that have no relevance for your business. We're going to jump into 7 distilled best practices that I've gleaned from my years of helping hundreds of people on their pitch. Now, I hope you have paper, or please get out your British Airways face-to-face competition, because like I said, we're going to give you tangible ideas. We want you to work on your pitch right now, so that for the rest of the day, on the plane, and when you're in Europe, when someone says, "What do you do?" or when someone says, "What's your business?" or "Why should I invest?" that in 60 seconds or less, you can give them a response that gets the eyebrows up. We want you to ink it when you think it. Get that pen ready. Get that paper ready. Ladies and gentlemen, start your pens. Idea number 1 is to craft an intriguing 60-second opening that passes the eyebrow test. Now, do you know you can test your pitch anytime you want, wherever you want, for free? Simply start your pitch or tell people what you do or what your business offers in 60 seconds or less, and watch their eyebrows. Because if their eyebrows knit or furrow, it means they didn't get it. And if they didn't get it, you won't get it, because they're confused. They can't relate to it, remember it, repeat it, become your word-of-mouth ambassador. We want those eyebrows to go up. And try it right now. Just arch your eyebrows, if you would. Do you see how your curiosity is piqued? It means your interest is animated. It means I'm interested, tell me more. It means we just got our business in their mental door. Would you like an example of a 60-second or less opening that landed millions of dollars in funding? Sure. I had a client, she said, "Sam, you can't say anything in 10 minutes. I said, "You can change a life
in 10 minutes.
In 60 seconds. You can change your life in 60 seconds. Here is the 60-second opening to her pitch. Did you know there are 1.8 billion vaccinations given every year? Did you know half of those vaccinations are given with reused needles? Did you know we are spreading and perpetuating the very diseases we are trying to prevent? Imagine if there were a painless, one-use needle that was a fraction of the cost of the current model. You don't have to imagine it. We've created it. In fact, in this article, and she was off and running. Now, did that get your eyebrows up? Here's how you can get people's eyebrows up in the first 60 seconds of your pitch. Ask or pose 3 did you knows they don't know. It's the quickest way to get the attention of jaded, skeptical business people who have their arms crossed because they've heard it before. Did you know? Da-da-da-da. Did you know? Da-da-da-da. Did you know? Da-da-da-da. Now bridge with the word imagine. Imagine and paint the best case scenario, or the solution to this problem, or the answer to this issue using the power of 3. Imagine, as we did, a painless, one-use, lower-cost needle. And then bridge one more time with, you don't have to imagine it, we've created it. And then you go into your social proof with a testimonial or an article from the Wall Street Journal, irrefutable evidence that you have created something that is already adding value. You have just won buy-in in the first 60 seconds. Now that's idea number 1. We're going to move on to idea number 2. Then we're going to give you an opportunity to put this in practice. Because Mark Twain once said, "No sinner was ever saved after the first 20 minutes of the sermon." You know what that means? Our attention span's about 20 minutes long. So if I speak for more than about 10 minutes, you start going to Maui in your mind. So one more idea, then it's your turn to put it into practice. Okay, best practice number 2 on how to pop your pitch. Start with a dog on a tanker story to turn wah-wah information into epiphanies. start with a dog on a tanker story to turn wah-wah rhetoric or information into epiphanies. Now, what is a dog on a tanker example? In the Washington Post last year, they wrote an article about a tanker that had caught fire 800 miles off the Hawaii coast. A cruise ship happened to be going by and was able to rescue the 11 people on board. The captain gave a press conference when he got to Hawaii and talked about how grateful he and his crew were to be rescued. All he can think about is his dog, Hotget, that had been left behind on the tanker. That press conference went viral and donations started pouring in from around the globe. $5 checks, $5,000 checks. The U.S. Navy actually changed the exercise area of the Pacific Fleet to search the ocean to see if they could find the tanker. They found it. They sent a C-130 to see if there's any sign of life. There's a brown and white blur racing up and down the deck of the ship. They mounted a $250,000 rescue mission to go get Hotget, and they are able to safely bring him back to the islands. Now here's the question. Why did people from around the world mobilize to save one dog when there are thousands of people in our own city and state and country that don't have water, food, or shelter? It's because of something called the Empathy Telescope. The Empathy Telescope says we can put ourselves in the shoes of one person. We cannot put ourselves in the shoes of many. Now, what that means for you in your pitch, if you're talking about the thousands of people you serve, it is conceptual. People can't see it. They don't get it. If we're asking for millions of dollars, it's such a large number that the eyes look away, the mind shuts down. We want to think of one person who has already benefited from your products or your service or your organization. Who is one client that had a challenge or a problem, worked with your organization, used your product, benefited from your service, and you tell that hero journey arc in 60 seconds or less. Now, here's an example, because do you know the two most important words in a pitch? For example. Do you see how, as soon as we say for example, didn't your eyebrows go up? Because you know that rhetoric is now going to turn into an epiphany. The light's going to go on, the band's going to play. I was speaking at a conference at lunch. I sat down next to a gentleman. I said, my name's Sam Horn. He said, my name's Tom Toohey. Now, if you would like to fast forward past superficial chit-chat, say, what's an example of what you do? Don't say, tell me what you do. Say, what's an example of what you do? And he immediately went into his dog on a tanker story. He talked about J.J. O'Connor, who was playing hockey when he was 17 years old, and J.J. was blocked into the boards and broke his neck and became an instant quadriplegic. And after months of surgeries and rehab, J.J. got active in Dreams for Kids, Tom Toohey's organization in Chicago.